Hello students, do you know in thermodynamics for a particular reaction which will be greater, delta H or delta U? You all know that delta H is enthalpy change and delta U is internal energy change. In thermodynamics we use these quantities. So if a reaction is given, can we calculate which will be greater? Means delta H will be greater or delta U will be greater? Yes, we can easily calculate by a simple trick that we know that delta H means enthalpy change is equal to delta U plus delta nRT. So we all know delta H is equal to delta U. Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta nRT. Now what is the delta N? Delta N means total number of moles of product minus total number of moles of reactant, and we all know we should consider the number of mole of only gaseous reactant or product. So for the reaction, so we can say for the reaction, if delta n will be positive, then delta H will greater than delta U. If delta N is negative, then delta H will be smaller than delta U. And if delta N is equal to 0, it means delta H will be equal to delta U. You can understand this thing by using this formula. For this reaction, we have to calculate delta n. What is the value of delta n for this reaction? Total number of moles of product are 2 minus total number of moles of reactant are 3 plus 1, that is 4. So 2 minus 4, that is equal to minus 2. So because delta n is negative, that's why we can say delta H will be smaller than delta U. For example, another reaction we can take like that, N2 plus O2 is equal to 2NO. All are in gaseous state. We have to find out which will be true for this reaction. Delta H will be greater than delta U, or delta U will be greater than delta H, or will be the delta H equal to delta U. So what is the delta N for this reaction? Delta N means the difference between the number of moles of product and reactant. So how many product mole are there? That is 2, and total number of moles of reactant are also 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. So 2 minus 2, that is equal to 0. So we find that the delta n for this reaction is equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, so we can say that delta H will be equal to delta U, because in this formula if we put here 0, so you can understand that delta H will be equal to delta U. So we can find out very easily. If delta N of the reaction is positive, then always delta H will be greater than delta U. If delta N will be negative, then delta H will be less than delta U. And if delta N is equal to 0, then delta H will be equal to delta U. Thank you.